When do we get a weight loss update? Next video. I got bad news. I'm gonna need people to be kind. Right, be kind to Miss Sympathy Bone. Be kind to Amberlynn, my cancer was my ex's fault Reid. Be kind to the despectful queen herself.
The narcolerk had a heart attack. Have some sympathy. Sorry, I'm trying to find my sympathy bone. My sympathy. I'm sorry. I don't care!
Hello everybody, I'm SP, and I'm gonna start this video off by saying I don't think there's a lot of people in the Amberverse, I cringe every time I say that, who want Amberlynn Reid to fail. As a man with my own body issues, my own bulimic days, I don't want this to be how our girl goes out, no matter how much I actually dislike her. But did anyone not see this coming? The celebration, the hullabaloo, the merrymaking, it very much all seemed for naught. It at least seemed that way for me. So today we're going to be looking at Amberlynn make excuses for why she couldn't lose 1 pound and get approved for weight loss surgery. If you don't know who this Amberlynn person is, I've made other videos on her in the past, and so I will link them to this video and you can check them out after you check out this one, please. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment what you think. I love when people have conversations in my comments. I really like to see people engaging. So let's get started.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So I know that I have not been uploading much. I have not been vlogging, nothing like that. I just, mental moments, okay? Working on myself moments.
Sure, Jan.
Girl, you have not been working on yourself. You're a notoriously lazy content creator. I get mental health is a thing, and she said she has some bad news, so that's probably what's bringing her down. But don't lie to us, which is going to be a pretty hard habit for you to break anyway, I guess. Let's skip ahead to the topic at hand.
Revolving like my weight loss and like my way of eating and weight loss surgery and stuff, there's gonna be a big change that's happening, and I'm sure there's gonna be a big part of you who, oh, I saw this coming, typical Amberlynn. There's gonna be another part of you guys who are like, oh, okay, I get this, I understand. But I feel like it's only gonna be a tiny bit, a tiny bit of you guys. Some of you are probably gonna be shocked.
And here's where we begin the Amberlynn crap, literally seconds into the discussion. I would say the numbers are reversed, to be honest. Once again, I think most people are rooting, well, I wouldn't say rooting, but most people want the best for Amberlynn. That includes me. Now, this is planet Earth, and there are humans, and so there are that gross minority of people that want the worst for her. But once again, even me, I don't like her. I think she's deplorable, yet I don't want her to fail. I don't want the worst for her. I'm not a monster. Yet here she is already trying to control the narrative and build that sympathy for her. The girl's a narcissist. In fact, most people saw this coming. 10 years of predictable behavior doesn't just disappear.
You have to be honest. You have to be honest with everything. And seeing the dietitian and seeing the psychologist, I was very, very upfront and honest. I have been diagnosed with binge eating in the past. 5 or 6 times, but you know, who's counting? And I was scared. I was so scared to say that, and obviously, because if you were to binge after weight loss surgery, you could get really sick. There has been people who have died because of it. It's a very scary thing. So with the psychologist, he was able to see that I was past that stage of my life.
She's not wrong. Binge eating after your stomach has been Mortal Kombat style ripped from you can actually be very dangerous and lead to some serious damage. So the fact that she knows this is both good and bad. It's bad because this is another excuse for her. This is another, I'm so scared, but it's good that she knows this so she doesn't hurt herself, I guess.
My mentality and what I consider a binge and the whole thing. You guys have seen that firsthand. I showed you guys a binge, I think it was in December, and you guys were like, that's just a normal meal. So the way that I see binging is very different than the standard binging. The psychologist said, you know, binging is eating 3 times what you normally would as a person, not what is a normal amount to eat as a person, but you, what is your normal? And I don't do that.
So we have a couple of things to unpack here. One, I didn't like how she said that. I showed you guys a binge a couple of weeks ago. Like it's some cute, quirky thing that she just does. Like it's a hobby for her. And then two, Amber uses buzzwords for attention. She knew it was a standard amount of food, but this really goes back to the whole showing her body in thumbnails for clicks, or this goes back to the TikTok we covered where that was on the For You page. That was just her having a relapse. The girl knows how to give people what they want. Now, my experience with binge eating comes from my bulimia. I'm going to be talking about a very serious and dangerous eating disorder here. And so if you want to skip ahead a bit, I completely understand. In fact, I think I think some people really should if it's going to upset them. My binging looks like this. I'm not a small guy. I'm tall, I'm muscular, I have some mass to me, and so it takes a lot to energize this. And so a usual meal for me is like a hamburger, 2 things of fries, because I do overeat a bit, and I don't drink soda, so I just get some water to go with it. That's a usual meal for me. But binging looks like this. I will eat 3 sandwiches. I will have 2 packs of ramen. I will have chips. I will have all this food, and I can hear myself in the back of my head saying, hey, we need to stop this. You need to stop. And there's literally nothing I can do about it. And so what I learned from my experience with binge eating and even my studies is that binge eating is the action, not what you're eating. Of course, eating a lot of food is a telltale sign of it, but I mean, some people, eating a lot of food can be for a lot of different situations, but it's a binge when you go through some really certain, it's a binge when you go through some certain lengths for food. Avid Amberlynn watchers will remember the time she drove over an hour just to satisfy her craving for Cheesecake Factory.
Think of it this way. I am 500 pounds. I have been 572. I have been almost 600 pounds. You can't get that way unless you are eating large quantities of food. Is that just like massively overeating? Or is that binging?
Who says it can't be both? I think I have a habit of overeating, but I know the difference between binge eating and just eating a lot. They both have to stop.
Like when I watch 600 Pound Life and they show what they're eating, I've never ate that much in one sitting. And they see Dr. Now. A lot of them, which are my favorite stories, they're successful. And they lose the weight, and in like 2 months, 3 months, they get the surgery. I've never in my life ate that much in one sitting. That's why I feel like the show exaggerates. But if they're not exaggerating, fine. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody. It's just confusing, and I find this part of my journey unfair.
All right, so y'all just seen that corny ass shit.
Boom, there's the word unfair. Life ain't fair. Also, you're literally dealing with a different group of professionals. Healthcare isn't a yes and no question. It's very gray. There are degrees and levels, and there's not the same thing happens all the time. I tend to think that weighing tragedies and comparing tragedies is trashy in the first place, but if you look at the show, there are people who fail. There are people who have circumstances that get in their way, and they press on despite their circumstances, and they actually succeed. And so it's a bunch of, like, you're just supposed to pick yourself up and move along.
I have been losing weight, and not only have I been working on that aspect, but I've been working on like my mental more, and just I've been actively choosing these coping mechanisms that my psychologist taught me all of last year. And I had my dietitian appointment, and she told me, this is going to be hard to hear, but if you are trying to get weight loss surgery, this is within their program. Every program is different. If you're trying to get weight loss surgery with this program, you have to go a full year, 365 days without one binge.
That is exactly what Amber wanted. I think Amber wanted to be told those words.
That, it like broke me. I cannot get weight loss surgery for a year. She cannot approve me for a year. And I immediately broke down. And I have been so confused where I'm just like, do I want to share this with YouTube? It just felt like another obstacle, another thing to just get in the way, because I have been doing everything.
But honey, that's a part of life. Obstacles are a part of life. You can't just give up whenever something goes wrong. You know, like the littlest thing happens and Amberlynn is ready to go dive into a ditch for a week. That's what the professionals are seeing. They're not saying you can't slip up, which is bound to happen in a whole year, but you can't let a slip up lead to just a landslide of mistakes. They see that you don't take this too seriously. They see that you're happy. Well, not happy, more so complacent with where you are. You get to wake up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. You get to put very minimal work into your job and make bank. You get to do nothing and be lazy because you have caretakers cleverly disguised as girlfriends that do everything for you. All the professionals see it. They see that you want weight loss surgery to be some magic solution, that you can just close your eyes and wake up and be skinny if you want to. They're trained to see it. Some healthcare professionals will take a chance on you, but others will see that you're not serious about it, so why should they be serious about it? They'll tell you to go take a hike. Losing 0.5 pounds a week when you're 500 pounds, wasting paper and colored pencils, pretending to track your habits, like you've gained 200 pounds in the 10 years you've started this. That's what people are upset about. Like, how can you really sit here and say you've made progress when you're double what you were when you started? You're literally breaking the hearts of people who looked to you because you were someone that caught their drift. You can do what you want with your body. I will say that. You can do what you want with your body, but it's insulting to people. The lies, the excuses, the manipulation, all of that is insulting. It's offending the people that held up their end of the bargain. They watched your content. They watched your channel. They gave you a paycheck, and you're not doing anything to pay them back.
I wanted the surgery before summer.
And that's another thing. That's an unrealistic goal. That seriously brings in the idea that she thinks this is a magic solution.
But since I have been diagnosed with an eating disorder, it's not manageable and it's not possible.
Now, she's showing multiple signs of defeatism and victim mentality. It's literally time to put up or shut up. And the doctors are thinking the same thing. They're waiting to see what she's going to do. But she's really about to not even try this whole year. I can already tell. That makes me sad for Amber. As a person with his own problems, that makes me sad. That literally makes my heart ache for Amber. Well, anyway, she's about to ruin my sympathy by comparing herself to others.
And it hurts. And it instantly put me in this like weird headspace where I was just like, this isn't fair. I instantly thought of 600 Pound Life, where these people, this isn't me saying anything bad about anybody. And I have seriously sat here and I was like, should I even share my true feelings? This is just like what I'm going through. I've sat here and I've been like, they're worse off. They eat way more than I do in one sitting. Why are they able to get the surgery? Why do we have to wait a year? It sucks.
I have been trying to leave the Amberverse for well over a year, but goodness is it a vacuum and I do not have enough escape velocity. It's a clear instance of me not being able to look away from a train wreck, and I like to think I have better self-control in this, but I mean, I do have a habit of overeating. So alas, here I am covering the mundane goings-on of a quarter-ton lesbian. There's something nasty about people who use mental health as an excuse to be terrible, honestly. I don't like this whole... I mean, obviously mental health is intangible, unmeasurable, and so nobody knows what's going on in everyone's mind. But whenever someone says my mental health as a shield, it sets a precedent, and I hate it. It sets a precedent that I can go on for days. But ain't nobody got time for that. Thanks for watching. Bye.